Let's get into the best jobs for building social skills, meeting people, building a social network, and having fun. Isn't that what life is about? I think so. For me personally, the goal isn't to make the most maximum money. That doesn't matter. Making enough to survive and thrive a little bit is great, but I think more about how to spend my time in an adventurous way that's social, that makes friends, that meets women, that meets cool guys who I can connect with, and it leads to fulfilling days and a fun life. So, welcome in, fam. Much love, Trav here. We're going to get into a bunch of ideas for jobs and careers. So, make sure to watch for that. But we're also going to talk about philosophy and why I believe it's more important to focus on the social aspect than the financial aspect of working, and that the financial aspect will come. So look at me. I don't look like people in this space. I don't talk like people in this space. And I have unique ideas in this space. And most of the guys are going to tell you six figures, you got to make a bunch of money. It's cool to make a bunch of money, but it's possible to live an amazing life for cheap, especially if it affords you a lot of free time, and a lot of free time gives you a lot of availability, which is very desirable from people. Actually, if you have time to hang out with people, it's actually desirable. They'll tell you, hey, you'd be too busy to see people, but then you never see people. Make a lot of money. Women are attracted to that. Well, they don't care that much compared to they used to, because we live in a special time in history. Times have changed. It used to be that men produced all the resources and hoarded the resources because they were big and strong, and also because of the social structures, and that women needed men for financial security. But times have changed. We live in a special time. Women's earning capacity is surpassing men's in a lot of areas. What does that mean? Is women don't seek men for money. They seek men for good vibes and child rearing and other things. Sometimes it's for money. Obviously it's less important than it was before. So, if you're thinking like, oh, I want a job that pays well because it's going to help me have a wife, or do well with women, that's the wrong way to go about thinking, um, just because of where we are in time. So, let's get into it. I mean, you could be a man or you could be a woman, and agree with me in terms of the goal is to have a fun life. You could disagree with me. It's a form of hedonism. You're probably right on that, but I'm not suggesting that I'm sober. I'm not suggesting you do drugs, that you drink, you do alcohol. I'm saying good, clean, wholesome fun. That's going to extend your lifespan. If you spend a lot of time around people that you love and you care about, it's going to extend your lifespan. And here's the thing, life is short. Why think I'm going to make this money and then I'm going to spend my time how I want? Why not just start spending your time how you want or in a fun way already by doing jobs that are fun, right? So I've done a bunch of jobs in my life. I've worked in many industries. I'm going to share with you a lot of the jobs that I've worked. And the most fun ones have always been the most social, where I'm meeting the most people, and it leads to friend groups and networks and group camping trips and all these sorts of fun things that can happen through work and meeting people. Whereas my least fun jobs have been, for instance, day trading, which in theory you make a lot of money, but is low status. Nobody cares about it. You don't meet anyone. It's uninteresting. It's boring. It's lonely. It's isolating. So even if you make a lot of money, but you're sitting behind an Excel spreadsheet, is it really worth it? Debatable. I don't think so. So let's get into some ideas for some of the best jobs that you can have that are social, and some of them actually do pay well. So the first one you're going to start with, that you may have probably thinking about, is working in food service. That could mean being a waiter, it could mean being a host, it could mean being a bartender, and those things. And I've been a waiter and I've been a host. Yo, it's kind of exhausting at times, but it's so much fun. You meet so many people. It's a great social education. You learn a lot from observing. You learn a lot from interacting. You learn a lot with the customers. You meet people through the customers. You have friends come in, people who you know, always talking to people, and you also have the staff, who is a network of friends as well. So a lot of people who do really well socially have a background in food service, and it's also just a really fun. It can be a really fun way to make a living, or a fun experience to have. I'm also, one of my philosophies is to not work the same job forever, not have the same career forever. That's actually is one of the ways to increase your money or increase your income. Instead of asking for a raise, you just move to another job that pays you more, and then you move to another job that pays you more. But the point isn't to make the most money. The point is to live a life of adventure and do a lot of interesting things. So the first one is working in the food industry. Second one I'll share is being some form of a camp counselor. Yo, being a camp counselor is lit. Very fun. It's an adventure for everyone. It's an adventure for the kids. It's an adventure for the counselors. And once again, you're networked with the kids and their parents, potentially, and you're also networked with the counselors. So you end up oftentimes essentially camping or having a sleepaway camp for a week or weeks at a time. And then you're able to meet tons of people, develop really close bonds, and meet a lot of great people who don't care about money. They care about having fun and being social and helping people. And just an absolute wonderful, great way to meet people, being a camp counselor. I've done it in various forms. I've done it in sleepaway camps. I've done it in day camp. I've done it in sports camps. I've done it on camps for disabilities. Absolutely great, wonderful social experience, and met a lot of people. So we've got camp counselor, and we've got working as a in food industry. What are some other examples we can give? Um, being either a tour guide or volunteer, or sorry, tour guide or organizing volunteer days is excellent. So this is also something that I've done. You guys know I've started a adventure guide business where I just get paid to meet people and take them on hikes. But even before that, I was doing farm tours. I was doing school tours on the farm, running volunteer days on the farm. And that is an excellent way to meet people. And you're meeting people who have oftentimes time in the day, disposable income, they're adventurous, they're looking for experiences. You meet super interesting people when you're running tours and volunteer days. And you could be running tours for a farm, volunteer days for a farm. You could be running volunteer days for cleanup, cleaning up natural works, cleaning up the earth, where you're going to meet a lot of cool people that way. And you're also going to, if you're a tour guide, you're going to meet a lot of adventurous, interesting people. So that is another great social activity you can do. So we have working in food service, we have being a camp counselor, we have being a tour guide. Now, there's a lot of other ones. We're going to also include a list of things that I don't think are very good socially, but some other ones. What else have I worked in that's been very interesting? Sales. Okay, I've done sales. I've done a lot of sales. And even though that was over the phone, yo, I met so many interesting people from all around the world. I did hundreds of inbound sales calls, talked to people for so long, met people from every country. And also, you learn that's a great social education because you learn how to get people to say yes and also how to allow people to say no, right? So that's very valuable in all things. It's valuable with women, it's valuable with men. Knowing how to get people to yes and also knowing when to let go and allow them to say no. It's also sales for me is a really super valuable what I learned from sales. And this is why I don't do cold approach or recommend cold approach, because if you've ever done cold sales, super waste of time, absolute waste of time doing cold sales calls, waste of time doing cold approach. But if you build a situation where you have a funnel and you have people coming to you and you're doing sales calls to people who have filled out a form and have applied to talk to you, it's a totally different dynamic. And that's how it's a great way to meet people, is you have people, you design your life in such a way that people are approaching you and people are coming to you. It's harder to build a funnel than to just start dialing. But results are way better when you have not even warm approach, but you have hot leads coming in. It's what it's called in sales. You have hot leads, you have cold calling. Don't cold call, don't cold approach. And pick a sales job where you get to work with hot leads. So much fun, honestly. Really easy to do also. It's not stressful selling to people who want to buy from you. So that's the fourth one, is sales. Let's move into some more mundane ones. Anything that's retail facing is fine. Actually, you're going to meet a lot of people, whether you're a barista, whether you're working in a clothing store. I haven't done it, but working in gyms could be cool, like working in a CrossFit gym or being a yoga instructor, or I'm just going to name things, being doing massage, offering massage, working in a climbing gym. These things could be really interesting. And by the way, if you're watching, you made it this far, comment down below what's a really good social job that's good for your social education and good for meeting people. Comment it down below. Um, so those are the sorts of things that you should keep in mind, though, when you are taking a job. Is not just how much it pays, not just the commute, but are you going to meet interesting people on a regular basis? Oh, here's another one. Yeah, being a woofer, like work volunteer, a farm volunteer, agritourism. Yo, you meet so many interesting people. I'm so glad and so happy I've done that with my life. Just made hundreds of interesting friends, young travelers, healthy people, believing in eating quality food. Absolutely so much fun, especially if you're a young person. Go woofing, travel and go woofing. It'd be such a good social education. Meet so many people. Um, I guess you could be a bouncer. Bouncer is good. That's definitely not for everyone, but again, these are the sorts of things to think about. Now you can take the safer jobs. A lot of the safer jobs you are actually going to meet a lot of people, even if you're a lawyer or a doctor or an accountant. You're going to be interacting with a lot of people, but there's certain jobs like trading is the worst, and that's why I want to get out of it. Um, a lot of online work, even though I do a lot, isn't great for it. This is why I love having um, a mix of jobs where it's like I work on a farm and I make shit money, but I work online and I make good money. And then there's a balance of, okay, I run tours here and do this and that. So that's things to keep in mind. And that's how I evaluate. When I decided I wanted to move out of trading and I want to do other things, I had different options. I could start a landscaping business. I want to work outside, but I thought I'm not going to meet that many interesting people. What if I start a guided hiking adventure business? That's a great way to meet interesting people, right? Even if it's tourists and they're on their way out. But that was my thinking there. Is it's fun. I want to meet people. I want to continue my social education and meet people. So hope you find that helpful and useful. If you, I mean, again, these are different advice than you typically hear, where people say you need to be a high figure earner. I don't think that's true at all. Um, to have a good life or to do well with women, I think it's more important to be proximity, being close to people, and to be good socially, to be good vibes, be good energy, be good emotions, and be fun. So, what else? You could be a teacher. You could be, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of things you can do, but I recommend prioritizing social jobs if you want to improve the quality of your life. And that's a list. Let me know what you think. Add to the list down below. Much love. Talk to you soon. Peace.